What's up, peeps? Julian Williams here with the distance video for you guys this evening. This one's going to be rest in peace, Emile Griffith. If you did read the boxing news today, the news that came out was Hall of Famer and three-time champion Emile Griffith has passed away this morning, I believe. 75 years old. Hands down, I believe one of the greatest fighters of all time. Has a huge resume of fights with some legends for many years in the divisions that he fought in. He faced Dick Tiger, Reuben Carter, Carlos Monzon, Alan Minter, Bad Benny Briscoe. The list just goes on. Bad Benny Briscoe, of course, he's going to be remembered for the trilogy with Benny Paret. One of the first boxers who I guess, could you who you knew was a homosexual. And was a fighter that was, in the closet when he fought, in the 60s, 70s. It wasn't really evident that he was a homosexual till, the end of basically the end of his life, as far as I know. But it was something that he struggled with for, within his career. But he was never the same after the trilogy with Benny Paret. And no fighter is ever the same after they are in the fight after they kill somebody. I mean, no man in the sport that they love is going to be the same, no matter who you are, because you know what? I mean, it goes on to show you that, hey, you're not invincible. You could, and it might open you up and be like, damn, I could die doing this shit. I can die as a boxer. Somebody else can die. And to be honest with you, I have trouble watching the trilogy with Benny Paret. Years ago, I wanted to do a top five on my favorite trilogies in boxing. But I'm one of those people I can't. There's certain fights I can watch, but there's fights I just can't watch. For example, I could watch Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo due to the triumph at the end of the fight. However, I can't watch Paret versus Griffith just due to the results. It is what it is. I'm human just like everybody else. However, I mean, if you just look at his fights, I mean, if you just look at his fights, and you could tell that he had so much passion for the sport of boxing. Like 112 fights, like 85 wins, 24 losses, I want to say. 24 losses, I want to say 5 draws and 1 no contest. I'm thinking about this one at the top of my head. I didn't do any research for this video. I'm just speaking at the top of my head because if I do, I feel as if, if I do research and I read about a certain fighter and then do the video, then it takes away from the justice of doing the video. Because now it's like, okay, you're just doing this video to entertain people. I'm just doing this video to salute one of the greatest boxers of all time. Pound for pound, I'd say top 50. Out of all boxers, maybe has even with wins and losses, has a great resume. Has an amazing resume. And the fighters that he faced fighters on his resume, it's something that no other fighter probably cannot duplicate in this era due to the fact that we have so many sanctioning bodies. I mean, if you look down the list of fighters that he faced, if you look and you see, all right, trilogy of Benny Paret, Dick Tiger. You had then you had Nino Benvenuti, Carlos Monzon, Benny Briscoe, Tony Mundine, Alan Minter. It just, it's like wow, these are some These are some legendary names, or not necessarily legendary from maybe a universal standpoint, but possibly a domestic standpoint. It could be legendary. You know, Nino Benvenuti went on. Had a couple great. He had a great fight with Carlos Monzon. Carlos Monzon, one of the greatest middleweights ever. You know, he went in there. He fought him. You know, won multiple belts. Won the. I want to say he had a middleweight championship, had a welterweight championship, and won the welterweight championship a few times. I mean, this overall wonderful, wonderful talent. You know, and this was an era when boxing was losing this big star. However, one big star was coming up in the process, and that was Muhammad Ali. But in the smaller divisions, you had Emile Griffith. You had Emile Griffith. You just overall you had Emile Griffith. You had Basilio still put on some decent fights. You had Bob Foster coming up. Just a lot of great fighters at this time. Ismael Laguna. Just a lot of fighters. And Emile Griffith is one of the legendary ones that stand out, of course. So anyway, peeps, I'm out of here. Rest in peace to Emile Griffith. And on to the next video. Peace.